Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to remind the honourable members and the public of the wonderful work that the Bermuda Fire Service, the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service, provide to the citizens and visitors to this island. I would first like to report that 13 news recruits who have embarked on their training to become Bermuda's latest firefighters and EMTs. The recruits are currently in their 25th week of training. Tomorrow they will travel to Pearson Airport in Canada to complete a four-week training course, which will involve aircraft firefighting. It is anticipated that all of the recruits will successfully pass all training elements, locally and overseas. The recruits will then prepare for their passing out parade before taking on their new roles as Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service firefighters and EMTs. I look forward to congratulating each of the new recruits as they take on this exciting career with the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service. Mr. Speaker, the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Services has a need to update some of its emergency vehicles. To this end, the Fire Service Management Team is completing negotiations with an overseas vendor to start building a new ladder truck to replace the current vehicle. The 20-year-old Bronto manufacturer of the new vehicle will take approximately 1 year to build and will commence once the contract agreement has been reached and signed. The Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service has also started talks with vendors for the purchase of a new design ambulance to support the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service ambulance currently in service. This purchase will ensure that the Bermuda Fire Service can sustain the mandate to provide an East End ambulance service to the community as a part of its memorandum with the Bermuda Hospitals Board to reduce the response times at the East End of the island. Mr. Speaker, through robust recruitment and training, coupled with excellent facilities and equipment maintenance, the Bermuda and Fire Rescue Services aims to keep pace with the recent manpower issues due to retirements and normal attrition, to ensure adequate emergency vehicle capacities for present and future emergency operational needs, to assure the sustainability to handle the prevailing threat of national disasters such as hurricanes, to provide Bermuda with a first-class fire and rescue service. Mr. Speaker, we should also be reminded that this department provides and carries out a vital role as part of the emergency measures organizations, providing not only fire extinguishment but rescue, flooding, abatement, roof covering, and building safety for storms, heavy rain, and hurricanes. Mr. Speaker, the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service remains committed to attracting young people interested in a career in fire safety. As of the beginning of this month, the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service has engaged 5 summer students who will work on a shadow program. This program will expose students to various service departments such as fire prevention, operations, and the garage. It is anticipated that the experience will provide these students with an overview of many of the facets of the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service. Mr. Speaker, the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service has also engaged 3 firefighters in a Pan-American Health Organization disaster management course. Firefighters Kingsley Mundy, Christopher Bramwell, and Kathy Williams completed the week-long training course that started on June 10th. And it culminated with an overnight exercise covering various scenarios addressed throughout the week. Each of the participants benefited greatly from the course and has been able to share the knowledge gained with their colleagues. Mr. Speaker, in money matters, the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service, the new fire safety legislation, and associated regulations have resulted in the Bermuda government collecting $64,950 in licensing and certification fees since the regulation came into force in April 2018. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, the Bermuda Fire Rescue Service recharge to the Corporation of Hamilton has finally been written off to the value of $6,270,950.39 as a gesture of goodwill.
Not good.
These costs were incurred due to the Bermuda Fire Rescue Service responding to calls within the city limits. In exchange, the Corporation of Hamilton has offset the cost and the Corporation of Hamilton has offset the cost charged to the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Services for the rental of the King Street property. There is now no money owing and no remaining balance for either party. Mr. Speaker, the fire service is continuing to investigate a way forward with improvements to the city's firefighting capabilities. The existing hydrant system requires repairs and upgrading to keep pace with the fire safety and extinguishing requirements in a modern city. This may mean purchasing of another portable hydrant system. The Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service will continue to work with the Corporation of Hamilton to ensure that the city's fire safety needs are met in an efficient and cost-effective manner. Mr. Speaker, the men and women of the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service provide Bermuda with a professional and abundantly competent fire safety agency. The Ministry of National Security will continue to support the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service as Bermuda depend on emergency first responders. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.